What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Speen Big here, and today we are here with
With
two
two
boys
boys,
full
full
course.
course.
Today we're reviewing Toriko, the
Toriko,
shonen classic, bro. The big four, the force
the
big
the
three.
f-
What?
the four
I confused myself.
the big
The
the forgotten
the
big
big
four
the
three.
three, the force big three. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, that's confusing.
yeah, we're
uh,
here.
yeah, Toriko.
Toriko.
What an interesting like.
What a mangi.
What
What
a
an
yeah.
interesting. We read the manga. We haven't
Manga.
seen any of the anime.
Yeah, no, we haven't not.
Yeah.
Um, but let's just start off with like Toriko, like in general,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Because
Toriko with Shonen Jump,
this
like
is the first time we were like going into a series where neither of us have any previous experience with the series in question.
yeah,
Like
like
we've read Black Clover, we've read Demon Slayer, but I've read Black Clover before and seen the anime. We
Demon
both
Slayer. I
watched the
watched,
Demon Slayer anime and the movie.
yeah, I
Uh,
watched it as it was coming out. I was like, I didn't even realize it was a big thing at the time.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, this anime is kind of
But
good.
Toriko is something we've known about technically. I've known about it for a very long time.
Yeah, like I've seen the character Toriko, and
Yeah.
that's all I knew of
I
Toriko.
think I've seen the special, the Dragon Ball crossover with One Piece.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I
Dragon
saw
Ball
like
Cross
clips
Toriko.
of that. I never watched that fully, but it's like, yeah, just Toriko,
Just
and
like
that's all
and it's just like
That's all we knew
we
about
didn't know
Toriko.
shit. We were like, what? I don't know what it's about. Something to do with food, maybe. That was my best guess, just because of the fork in the knife. But I couldn't
Yeah,
tell you what the plot was. I couldn't tell you any other character besides Toriko.
yeah, no, it was really weird because like again, we'd at least heard of Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece.
Yeah,
Like me having like even like Bleach was the one that I had the least like knowledge of,
yeah.
and I still like knew a decent amount of it. But Toriko, nobody talks about
Nobody
Toriko.
talks about Toriko, man. Nobody talks about Toriko, and I don't. Having read it now, I don't understand why.
I don't either.
Because
It's
holy crap, bro. We read the first arc, by the way, which is the first half of the
the first arc.
series. But
uh, yeah,
the wiki would say otherwise, because the wiki does separate it into the like
it
individual collection of the foods.
yeah, and it calls it the act, the human world act.
Yeah, the act. We read all of the human world, and
Yeah,
and it
so
was
I mean,
amazing, bro.
it was
It's
it was actually
phenomenal,
amazing.
dude. Holy fuck,
Like, I'm so surprised nobody talks about
bro.
Toriko ever.
That shit went
Like,
crazy, man.
like is it maybe more popular in Japan? Like,
It must be, dude.
it's gotta be.
Absolutely, it must be. I mean, it ran for 400 chapters, which is a pretty good shonen length
Yeah,
for any shonen. I mean, that's where Haikyuu ended at 400 chapters. Like,
that's
and that
pretty
was
good.
popular. Yeah,
And like I know that it's had like multiple like Dragon Ball crossovers, One Piece
One Piece
crossovers. It's like
crossovers.
I feel like maybe that's
It's
just a lot to
been
tell.
in
But
Jump games. Like I know Toriko's. Is he in Jump Force actually?
he is on Jump Force, yeah.
I
Is
gotta
he?
go. I gotta
Wait.
go. I don't know.
Uh, um,
I'm about to look it up. Hold on.
he's gotta be,
He has to be right.
right?
There's no way he's not. I know he's in Jump. The PS3 Jump game, for sure. He's not in Jump Force.
He's not.
He's not in Jump Force.
What?
What? They did my man so dirty. Yeah, he's in J Stars. He's in J Stars versus for the
He
PS3.
stars, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. But
Yeah, okay. And he's been in a lot of just Shonen Jump material in general. Like he's a big character that
yeah,
they try
like
to push a
they
lot.
tried to push him really hard. I just don't know why he didn't take off in the West. I don't know if it's maybe the food aspect that, but like I think it's really fucking good and it's really interesting.
I think
Maybe
yeah, I think
because
part of
the
it is like
anime
the
was
food.
subpar.
Maybe And then I think also the art style is kind of misleading. Like it's so bright and colorful.
Yeah,
And I feel like it's kind of like has a One Piece effect where it's like, oh, that show's made for kids.
it does feel
Uh,
like that. But oh my god, is it
is it
gory,
not?
bloody? People get ripped apart. You see people's rib cages get
Yeah,
cut up. Like
Toriko's like actually like the most violent we've seen out of like I feel like out of all the big three that we've read.
perhaps
Like just straight up like brutal, like maybe
early
not
Naruto
death
may come
wise.
close, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Naruto's like the only one that comes close. Um, it's weird.
It's gruesome, bro. People get chunks ripped out of them, man. God damn. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, holes through arms blown off. It's like Jesus.
yeah. I think before we go any further, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We gotta say that every time. And hit the little bell icon.
Yeah, it's a little bell
I don't
icon.
think we've ever said that before, but
I
hit
don't
that
think.
shit. Hit that shit, bro. If you want to get notified every time we drop a
Yeah,
video.
which is usually on Fridays, but
You know, unless
maybe we're late
unless
on a
we're
Friday and then
busy.
you don't know. Yeah, maybe we miss a Friday and are like, oh, where's the next video? And it's like it's actually on. We actually
On
upload them on
Saturday.
Sunday, on Saturday. Yeah, and you wouldn't have
You
known
wouldn't
unless you.
know because you hit the little bell icon. So hit that subscribe button. Try to get us to 100 subscribers before the end of 2022. You know we got
Yep.
40 more to go. Please. But yeah, back at it. Toriko, man. It's
Toriko.
violent. Its art is really good. It feels like a continuation of older shonen. I would say more like
Yeah,
Fist of the North Star, JoJo's inspired kind of era.
yeah, it definitely
But but
does
but it
feel a
still
little bit like
takes
that.
the Dragon Ball inspiration as well. Like it's sort of a mix of like the more cartoony One Piece, Naruto, uh,
Mhm.
and the older Fist of the North Star kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, our protagonist is a big muscly man with blue hair. I mean, that's just Kenshiro, bro. Who said, you know.
He even has like a ripped jacket, bro.
Yeah, yeah, for real. So
Like,
you,
man, I don't know. It's
so
just it's fun. Toriko.
the art style is really good, and you know, I think the anime does disappoint on that aspect a bit because I just don't think
Mm-hmm.
it lives up. Same thing with the violence, the censorship in the anime. So it's so bad. It takes
Yeah,
so much away from a lot of the scenes.
yeah, it really does. And I like I get the colors in like the anime,
Yeah,
because it's like I feel like the world of Toriko is like very
it's
bright and
bright.
vibrant.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like it feels like all the saturation and colors in the anime just feels like flat. I don't know. There's
it
that's a little
definitely.
too bright and like.
I think it's at the fault of the era that it came out. The era of Toei was that when it came out. Because
Yeah,
around the time when One Piece started looking pretty bad, in my opinion, too.
true,
Um.
true.
So yeah, but now let's get right into it. The plot goes crazy. It
Uh, yeah,
it
yeah.
it starts
Toriko.
pretty basic for the most part. Sort of just search for the
Yeah,
foods.
yeah. No, it starts off with a good concept, like a good hook. It's like it introduces you. It's like, oh yeah, we got gourmet hunters, and they're hunting for like top quality ingredients. So
We
the
got the
chefs can make
chefs.
that shit.
We got the chefs. They can cook that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Every
But
monster has a capture level,
yep. Yeah, every big
or
like
even any food. Every food has a capture level. It doesn't necessarily mean um
yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean
have
like
to be a
toughness.
monster. Yeah, it could be something. It could be
It's just
trickiness in
difficulty.
preparing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to
Mm-hmm.
get a very specific cook to do very specific things to the thing. It's very
Yeah,
it's
I think capture levels are super interesting.
yeah,
Like
it's like yeah,
um,
it's just like power levels, but different, you know.
yeah, it's not like a straight up indication of like strength or anything like that. Like it's a good. It's to me, it kind of reminds me of like bounties in One Piece.
Yeah.
Like it's a good indication of like how strong something is, but it's not like it doesn't tell you anything beyond that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so capture levels interesting. A good like power system, I think.
Yeah. and we meet Toriko and Komatsu, the two main characters, and they sort of start their little journey. They go on their first hunt, and we can see Toriko is fucking snapped.
Toriko's built.
Snapped. He's built different, but I think I like this about the show is it makes you feel like he's that shonen protagonist, right? The first 20 chapters is him just sort of dominating these high level beat captures, right?
Yeah, like there's nothing has stood as problem.
Yeah,
Like has been a problem for him in these first like yeah 20 or so chapters.
but
He's just kind of built.
it does not take long for the show to be like, yeah, Toriko ain't the strongest in the series. Period. Like he's not anywhere near
Not even
close to the
close.
level of even like the first major antagonist we see, which is just a GT robot. Like just completely pushing this man up to his limit.
Yeah, up to his limit. And this is just a robot being controlled by somebody else, and the robot can't even get the full power of like
Yeah, I
the full
mean,
power across of the wielder
the
across.
robot
Like,
it has a delay of 0.001 seconds, and the wielder's like that's like 10,000 times slow for me. And you're just like,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, okay. Jesus. Um.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and after you get past the Regal Mammoth arc, it's just like, man, bro, it's
Man.
just so fucking good, man.
Yeah. Like the first few arcs pretty good, pretty solid, really
Yeah,
pretty fun. I think.
yeah,
That's just yeah. The the gator, the galala gator, the rainbow fruit, puffer whale. It introduces you to like kind of the world, kind of how things work, like special preparation foods, like the
the
puffer
puffer whale.
whale, um,
Yeah,
and like yeah, like high capsule creatures and stuff. It's a pretty good introduction to the world. And then the regal mammoth arc just it just like
it ta-
takes everything. It
it
takes
just
everything that you've learned and puts it all together.
and just multiplies it, man. In the Regal Mammoth arc, we learn about the human world is just a fraction of the planet's size. And there's a giant gourmet world where more delicious monsters are taking place. But Toriko isn't anywhere near the level ready to go to the gourmet world yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you learn how they figure out like capture levels and stuff. You learn they're like I don't know. It's and then yeah, we get like our first like big fight. I would say
Mm-hmm.
with the GT robot. That
And,
the user that we
yeah,
get the reveal of the user Star June.
and Toriko nearly dies against. He does die technically, and he comes back to life thanks to the Regal Mammoth. But
He does.
um, he gets reborn, which is something that'll happen quite a few times as we go
It does.
forward.
It's happened quite a bit.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, Toriko just struggles, and he gets put up against this wall, and even going forward after the Regal Mammoth arc, it's just Century Soup, and it's it's the plot structure is simple, but like, man, does it scratch a shonen itch that you would think would be common in shonen, but a lot of shonen just don't get it. And
Mm-mm.
that's the journey and the adventure of seeing a world, just like in all the wonders that it has to offer.
Yeah.
Com-
Yeah.
comparable to like the Hunter Hunter. You know, um,
Mhm.
where like there's fantastical beasts and everything around the world. Uh but like Toriko just take that. And well, One Piece is the king of this, right? But
Mhm.
while One
I,
Piece is a lot more focused in its plot structure, I feel in terms of they're trying to get to a specific place. In Toriko, you get a lot more of just, hey man, where Toriko ends up, that's where he finna be.
yeah. Yeah. No, I think like I'm gonna say something right now, but I think
This man's gonna go crazy.
I think Toriko is on the level of One
One
Piece
Piece,
world building,
easy.
like even in maybe even above.
To
I don't
be
know.
honest
I don't
with
know
you,
about that.
I
Yeah.
agree with you, man. I completely agree with you because it is insane how this man and the cool thing is, he's designing all these amazing worlds, and it also some of the monster designs we get are fan submitted, which is amazing. Like that,
Oh yeah,
I
a
a lot
lot
of them
of
are
the
fan submitted. It is but just even him, and plus all the fan submissions, and his impeccable, just like showing you a location, and then you're just like, this is an amazing place. Like,
Yeah, yeah. He shows you a location, and you get to learn like kind of the history about it, like all the like the environment about it, and it's all made of food too. Like you can eat like
you can
literally
eat
everything
basically anything
in this
in
universe.
this world, as long as you're snapped enough
Yeah.
to prepare and cook it and not die in the process.
Yeah, like there's so many like unique locations that you visit in just this first half. Like you visit the I think like the Puffer Whale underwater
Yeah,
cave,
the underwater
um,
cave, the regal
the
mammoths, which is just
IGO.
a biotope, like
Yeah,
environment, um,
yeah,
like
the
a
IGO just have like
c-
just like eight
contain
separate
like
like almost continents of just their own
just
like
like
own like
controlled
food
environments,
environment.
controlled like think like Jurassic Park in a way, um,
Yeah, yeah. Where they just grow
where they just
things that
grow.
should be
There
extinct.
should be, yeah, 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 yeah.
You get the century. Yeah, go on to
The
Century Soup.
Century Soup Island,
You get Ice Hell.
ice. Oh my God, ice hell, bro! Holy fuck!
Ice Hell, where like so many ingredients have been frozen, and it's like oh, and then like the ozone herb arc, like just in the island in the
In the
clouds.
clouds, man.
It's like like every location you visit. Like I could go on for
Yeah,
a while
forever,
more.
man.
Um, but just every single location is just so fun and fleshed out, and you feel like you're actually you feel like you're on an adventure with these guys, like, and then things happen during that adventure, and it's like, ooh,
And it just like, yeah, it just propels the plot forward, and it's it's amazing, man.
yeah, it's Toriko is really a really world building focused. Like, I think the characters are great,
Yeah,
um, but they're
no,
not
I
like,
think the characters are awesome. I was gonna
yeah, no,
go into it, but go ahead.
yeah, but I think that the world building kind of, I think that the characters kind of serve the world in a way, like
Yeah,
like whereas the locations a lot of time in places locations serve like the character, like they struggle with something in the location. I feel like it's almost the opposite in this, which is
yeah,
a little strange, but that's what it feels like for me at least.
yeah. It's really great, and I mean, there's a lot of characters, a very much large amount of characters, and this man does not
Hmm.
shy away from just introducing somebody, and then they die 20 minutes later. Like, like
Yeah.
he'll introduce them, and we'll get to know them, and we'll get to like learn what their full course meal is, and then dead,
Hmm. God.
gone, and goodbye.
He does do that, doesn't he?
Yeah, but no, in the way it progresses, man, it progressively like escalates in power. Like we go from Toriko being able to like bust some boulders, to just
Mhm,
like
mhm.
people just destroying like stopping the Earth's rotation and destroying like being having the ability to just destroy continents casually, like.
Mhm. And this is just in the first
And this
half.
is the first time we're not even to the gourmet world yet. This is all still just taking place in the human world. We do see the gourmet world here and there, sprinkled throughout, sort of like.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's as like a wall, like it's like this wall that like only the most built can pass.
Yeah,
Like Toriko's like no matter like even how built we see Toriko, like this man's punching mountains in half like midway through this first half.
and
But he's
yeah, he still
still
stand
just
no
baby
chance against the gourmet world.
baby
Like,
against the gourmet world, and that's
and
kind of
it's just
exciting.
like the prospect of the gourmet world is so good because of how early on he introduces it. Because it's just like
Hmm.
there's, it's similar to like Goku's philosophy. There is always something better out there, man. There will always be people stronger. The
Yeah.
adventure will never end because the gourmet world, we do not know the limits of the gourmet world.
Hmm. Like I mean, like it's introduced as early as like the Regal Mammoth arc
Yeah,
with the Battle Wolf. They're like, oh yeah, the Battle Wolf used to live a while ago, and it's so strong that it like wiped out like an extinction level monster just because it got close.
yeah, yeah.
um, and and they talk about that, and like that just it just sets up. It's like, oh wow, where did these grow up, and how strong are these things? And like
Yeah.
it just you get excited. It's like, oh, are we gonna meet like a real one of those, or are we gonna go there to that place that these things just roam around once, like one day? It's just exciting, like how much hints he drops about it, like how much foreshadowing he gives to the gourmet world.
Yeah, it's really good in the plot. The plot progresses amazingly, and
Mhm.
we haven't read any past where the human world arc ends, but like it is so satisfying. That ending was so satisfying, even just for
It,
me, man.
it really
Like,
was.
like I could stop reading and be like, damn, man, that was Toriko, man. She,
Sheesh. Kinda,
yeah, I mean,
kinda.
there's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of it sets up for the next arc, but
Hmm.
there's already so much in just the first half that it's just incredible. Um,
Yeah.
what was your favorite arc? You know.
My favorite arc. It's like, man, I don't know. It's really hard to choose. Like, I kind of gotta go with the gourmet world arc. Or
Okay.
not the gourmet world arc. The gourmet festival arc.
Gourmet festival
Cooking
arc. Yeah.
the cooking festival arc. Like that, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because
I mean, because it's just so good, and
it's
it caps off the series
it
basically.
caps out the series. But if I like, that's kind of like the default.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one. If I had to go with like one before that, I'd probably go with either Century Soup or Regal Mammoth. Actually,
Nah.
um, I
Okay.
think I'm gonna
We're
go with
okay.
Century Soup. Just
Yeah. No,
because of
Century Soup is amazing, and the Tommy
yeah.
Rod fight is probably still one of the best fights in the series.
Oh yeah,
Easy. Like, that fight goes insane, bro.
it's such a good fight. But yeah, just the whole Century Soup, just the whole like so many different things happening at once. There's like mysteries going on. Like they're all it's all like the environment's working against them as well as the villains. It's like
Yeah.
it's a race against the clock. It's just all really good, and they get introduced to so many fun characters, like a bunch of different gourmet hunters and
Yeah.
everything.
The Gourmet Mafia.
The yeah, the
Come
gourmet
on,
mafia,
let's go, man. They
the
go
revive,
hard. The
the
revivers, oh
revivers.
my god, Tepe goes. It's constructed
It's-
differently, man.
and then this is like our first like actual encounter with the like our first actual like face off against the
Gourmet Corp.
gourmet core.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all just really good, and it's just it's yeah. And like of course Century Soup being what it is, like a culmination of all the foods, and you get Komatsu section with that too.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like yeah, no, I think that's like if you read Toriko and make it through Century Soup, and you're like this shit's alright,
Oh, I mean,
then
come
you're
on,
like
man. Yeah, yeah. You gotta stop,
yeah,
man. At that point,
you
come
can
on.
stop,
The
just stop
Century
reading
Soup arc is
Toriko.
so good. Nah, my favorite though is the Cola arc.
The Carmelo call, I get it.
Yeah,
I
no,
get it.
for because come on, man. Zebra, the intro, because Zebra is just like this force, and I love the build up to Zebra because
I
every single
love
one,
Zebra.
it, you know, in the Regal Mammoth arc, we've called all the four emperors to the Regal Mammoth place, the four emperors, the four kings.
For Kings, yeah.
But then it's like we need to sanction his Zebra's release because he committed a crime so bad that he's just at the worst prison in the world, and it's just
Maximum
like
security prison.
everybody's like, nah, he's a fucking beast, man. Like, do not mess with Zebra. And it's just like,
Can't let this man out.
and when you meet him, it's just like, oh my god, he lives up to the fucking hype.
He does. His, just the reason he's in there is so funny to me.
He just ate species into
He ate
into
seven
extinction.
species to extinction.
He ate
Like
too much. That was the reason they gave us. That
he
man
ate too
ate too
much.
much.
That's why he's in prison. Ah, it's so good.
No, but that arc is so good, and it brings me to my point that I wanted to segue into, man. Where
Mhm.
why is Komatsu like the best written best friend character in all of fiction?
He really is.
Because
He's
you know
just
what? Toriko might as well not be the main character to me, man. Komatsu is the main character.
like actually though. It's
Like time after time after time, the best friend characters just keep getting cooked.
like,
Uh, fuck Krillin. Come on, I mean, like
Krillin.
Krillin's there and he helps, but come on, man. Like you know, um,
Yeah.
I don't know who the One Piece equivalent would be. Zoro, I guess, where she doesn't really get cooked all that
So
much, but
kind of. I don't. Maybe Usopp.
Usopp. But I'm trying to think of. I had it at the tip of my tongue and I can't remember the character right now. Oh, in Bleach, Chad. Chad, come
Chad.
on,
Yep.
like
Chad got cooked.
Chad. Characters like Zenitsu, I guess, we know the types, the side characters, man. The side characters are always getting chipped. Even characters like Yamcha, man. And but in Toriko, why is Komatsu so well written? Why is Komatsu the best character in
I
the whole series?
know. Like you'd think that a character that like he's pretty underpowered. Like he
He's
doesn't he's not a
weak.
fighter.
He's
Yeah,
weak.
he's weak. You'd think he'd be like really annoying and like get in the way
You
a
get in
lot.
the way, and
It'd be like oh he'd be the one that'd be like oh save me Toriko I'm in trouble.
yeah.
Uh, but no, but no,
I mean, he
this
does
man is
say that,
competent.
but
Like he does say that occasionally. Like it's a very it's but he uses it very like sparingly
yeah.
and in really good situations. Um, like a lot of the time Komatsu is just like he's competent on his own. He can handle himself.
He's so built different that he's oftentimes he's sitting in a room with four kings, with the literal
Mhm.
four kings, and the enemy in the room looks at Komatsu and says, I'm more interested in this guy."
Yeah,
Like,
so built different in his with his cooking skills.
and he's so good, and he's got a little harem going. Like, come on, bro, the best harem manga I've ever read. The four kings just want this man.
So want this man? He's like, I'll help you out if you promise to be my
If you'll be
partner.
my partner. Sonny's like, you gotta be my partner. Coco's like, I want you as my partner. Like
It's like, man, Komatsu's already taken, bro.
he's already
And then they're
taken.
all still thirsting
Not
after
to
this man.
mention, like the girls in the series, man, like Milk the Second, like
God,
Komatsu could pull anybody in the series, man. All I,
except for Rin.
yeah, well, Rin is literally the biggest simp in all of shonen history, probably.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like this lady simps more than Fonji does, man.
Somehow.
I don't understand how, but yeah, just Komatsu, man, just brings the series up so much to me for me, man, because
He really does.
he's a side character, but he may as well be the main character, and
Mhm.
he's a character that's a good example of how weak characters can still have a place in in a shonen story,
Mhm.
um, because he isn't
Yeah.
strong, like
Yeah. And I think that makes him like such a good like what is it
what,
like a mirror I don't know what to like he's
like
like an amplifier for Toriko.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I like they bounce off each other
So yeah, they
like
really do.
really well. Like just that character like relationship just makes Toriko so good just between like Komatsu's just like a kind of a meek shy like really just good guy and Toriko's like big strong aggressive-ish kind of big man um
Yeah.
and just they bounce off each other so well and it makes every scene with them just so enjoyable.
Yeah, it really does, and it really like, especially in that final arc, it really just elevates the whole the entirety of that arc up so much. Like,
Yeah.
just like the relationship, like you know what, it's Naruto and Sasuke. I get it, but nah, Toriko and Komatsu are really gay, man. Like, these two are the gayest people I've ever seen, and I vibes with
Right.
it. Like, I am now a shipper of these two, man. Like, because the way they were looking at each other in that final arc, bro.
God, I know.
Like, put Rin aside, Toriko, because Komatsu's right here for you, man.
Komatsu's the one, man.
Komatsu's the one.
He'll always be there for you. Such a homie.
Oh man, yeah. You have anything you want to say? Anything else? What
Um,
else you want to bring up?
I mean, we
Anything
haven't
we've
even gotten
missed?
started on the villains, bro. Like
Oh,
we
you
haven't
we
even
have it. You're right.
touched on them.
You're right.
Like the gourmet core and the nitro, bro.
And the
It's like
Nitro, incredible villains, dude. Like, I, you look at somebody like even Midora.
Midora.
Midora,
We only ever like meet that man like at the last arc,
at
like
the,
in the bit of the
but
last
he's
arc.
built up as this monster, this absolutely guy who cannot be satiated. But then, like, when you learn about him, like, what a way to like build up a villain and then like subvert your expectation on what he's gonna be, like
Yeah,
completely.
yeah. Like he seems like like yeah. Again, he's built up as such like like a monster that's just out for nothing but like world
But God,
domination.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
nothing
didn't
but
even
God.
talk
Like
about God, but
he'd destroy the world in yeah, he'd destroy the world in his in like if it got in his way.
yeah,
But then you meet him and he's like they humanize him so
he's
much and
a
it's like
human, but he's like,
what a what a subversion of
yeah,
expectations.
he kind of reminds me, for all the Dragon Ball fans out here, of Broly a little bit. Sort of,
Mm-hmm.
sort of a guy who usually would be pretty calm in like a good person, but
Hmm.
he has this inner demon that just comes out, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
and just he's happens to be in the perfect circumstances to let that demon out.
yeah.
And
Um,
he's like
I mean, he's the final villain. We already know. Like, there's no way he ain't gonna be the final villain.
I don't think he is. I don't think he will be actually.
Do you not?
Um,
Maybe not.
no, I don't think so. I think I got a theory, but
But all right.
I ain't gonna go into that because that might be yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Um, um, but I think Midora is like he kind of is set up as like not a good guy, but like not a kind of like an anti-hero. I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
by the
sort
end of
of
it. Um,
it's really good. And not just him,
yeah,
but all the villains. Like, you have your villains that you just hate. You have your villains that are just fucking weird. Like, what the fuck is up with the straw guy? I can't remember his name.
Grin
Grimpat,
Patch.
like, bro, what is up with you, man? That man
He's
be
just got a
sucking. That man got the
he's
good suck going on.
he's just got a straw. That's his weapon.
That's his weapon. We got
He also
you.
just has four arms for like no reason.
We got you with your
We
six
got
arm
me,
plates.
Alfaro, bro.
How far? Yeah, that's you, baby. That's the same
That's
nose
me,
size,
basically.
man. With Star, I
We
mean
got
Star June. Come on, like,
Star June. Man, part of me like I really like Star June, but I also like can't get a read on the man.
yeah, he's really strange.
um, I meant like Tommy Rod, man.
But I look at Star June and I think, yeah, this is where the Fist of the North Star influence came from. Cause how Toriko gonna be the okay, Star June isn't blonde, but tell me not, like, come on, why do you have to make a long haired beautiful guy this man's main antagonist? You know what
Man's
I mean?
rival. I don't know, man. It's funny.
But yeah, and Tommy Rod, of course, and Tommy Rod is so like satisfyingly just feels that completely evil guy kind of role
Yeah,
for the
like
series.
yeah, he's so like
He's so
unapologetically evil.
like
Whereas like the rest of the gourmet core are like they're kind of fun. They kind of mess around and like they're like
oh
oh yeah,
yeah,
I won't
like
kill you if
Alfaro
you
is just
way.
doing stuff for the boss, like he's just the boss, his lapdog essentially. You know,
Yeah, Grimpatch kind of does whatever. He's
Grimpatch
just
is
out
just a
for
fucking
fun.
weirdo who sucks things.
Yeah,
And Star June
and
again,
that's
we can't get a read, but
yeah, Star June.
he's not
He's
evil. I can tell that he's not evil. He has
no,
his
like
own agenda. He's got something up. He's planning something that we just don't know yet.
yeah,
Um,
he's also kind of like power like battle hungry in a way too. He's like,
yeah, yeah.
is there
He's
anybody who
definitely
can
like
match my
Goku. He's
power?
just Goku.
Yeah,
He's just like,
yeah.
I need to push myself. I can't kill Toriko yet because my limits have yet to be reached. And Toriko's the only
uh,
one who can take it out of me.
yeah. But then there's Tommy Rod, who's just like man is a psychopath,
Man, he's
serial killer.
actual psychopath. He's insane. He will kill without a shadow of a doubt. Like, man, it's just like the spread, man. And that's not even
Mhm.
going into characters like Granny Chio, whoever the fuck is impersonating Frois. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like, just because either
Yeah, the whole like blue nitro thing at the end there is like,
yeah,
what's going on?
just
Um, yeah, it's just like so many color, like all the characters in Toriko are just so much fun.
all of them for real. It's crazy how he designed like all these characters because they're all so varying in lengths and size and nose sizes, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah, they're all like they all got super wacky designs and like like personalities to match.
yeah,
They don't quite reach like the ridiculousness of like One Piece designs,
no,
character
no,
designs,
but
but they're like a solid middle between like regular anime designs and then and One Piece
yeah, One
designs.
Piece, yeah.
They're like a pretty good middle ground. Um, and they're all again, they're all just like every character is like feels like a real character and so fleshed out.
Yeah, there's so like
Uh,
all of them got backstories, man. All of them got tragic pasts they got overcome.
yeah, I know, and we don't even like
We don't.
we spend like maybe one encounter with each of them, which
Yeah,
is really funny. Like unless you're one of the main characters or like a main villain, you're in the show. You're in the first chat. You're in the first part like once, and then we don't see you for the rest of it.
yeah,
Which like, but it's like that's another thing about Toriko is I'm never like I'm never like wanting more. Like I every character I'm like they show up
yeah,
and then I'm like and then they leave and I'm like damn they were a cool character. But I got everything that I needed out of that character. I'm not wanting more
yeah,
as like in like Bleach.
yeah.
You set up like like a couple characters like Bleach is like this is the best one I can think of.
Nah, no, Naruto, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, Naruto,
Yeah,
Naruto
come
too.
on.
You set up these characters, and then you want to spend like you want to spend a lot. Of, they kind of get the precedent that they're gonna show up in the story more,
Yeah.
and they're gonna help be a bigger part. But then they just aren't.
Yeah. Whereas in
Whereas like,
Toriko, they are there, and you also get the feeling because a lot of them show up for the cooking festival.
hmm
And so you get the feeling that they're gonna be there. They're gonna back up. But but you get what you get. But you get what you get out of them. You will still see them going forward, but they'll be in the supporting role, and they'll play that supporting role. And you don't need them to really
yeah,
play a main character.
yeah,
Um,
they play their respective role
yeah,
like very well, and and just the whole way that I think Toriko's plot structure works, whereas this it's basically just Toriko and Komatsu going on adventures. You're not expecting them to show up at the same time. You're not
yeah,
like
but you're
oh I'm really
pleasantly
hoping
surprised
for
when somebody does show up. You're like, oh,
yeah exactly.
what's
You're
up,
always
man?
yeah it's like oh what's up Tepe? What are you doing here?
Yeah, and
You're not
it,
you're not waiting like oh man where's Tepe? Where's Tepe at, bro? I've been waiting for Tepe to show up for the last 50 chapters. Where is he at? I want to see more of him. No, you're just like, oh, okay, Tepe's here. Let's go.
let's go. Yeah, come on, Tepe is so cool, man.
Tepe's awesome.
uh, yeah, and yeah, Toriko is just incredible when it comes to using his characters effectively.
hmm Yeah,
Um,
it really is.
yeah, you got any? You got what? I'm trying to say something for the end, so I just wanna get make sure you get everything you want to say out the way.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
I think we covered.
Sticking on the
Yeah,
characters. The four kings as like your four main characters.
yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yes, they're so
Again, we talked about Zebra and we talked about Toriko a little bit,
yeah. But Sunny and
but
Coco, the remaining two
Sunny and
kings,
Coco, like
amazing, and they
if
all sort of play off of each other really well. I think.
yeah, they all have very different personalities, but very like personalities that get along with each
hmm
other very well, and they're all just super fun to watch interact. Because each of them have their own like dynamic between each other,
Yeah,
so it's like whenever you have just two of them alone, it's like oh, how is this gonna go?
yeah, and all
It's
of their
fun.
powers are so varyingly different from each other.
Yeah.
It's like even just coming what the amount of powers we see in this series is incredible. Just the amount of things people can do.
hmm
But within the Four Kings, like I don't know, man. Sunny's hair, like just being able to use your hair as a weapon, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Is
Toriko's
that a
just like
JoJo
it
reference?
is. Yeah, Toriko, he's your basic like
He's your
you know
basic buff
punchy.
shonen guy.
But he's got like some cool abilities with the fork and knife, like and how he evolves like using the fork and
His
knife.
nail punch and everything. I think it's
Yeah,
really cool.
spike punch. Then you're like introduced to Coco, who's just Poison
Poison,
Man,
just poison guy.
and he uses that in like so many different ways. He's also got
Like
the crazy
you
eyes.
would think it's just like, okay, well, um, it's poison. What can he do with it? But then he just whips out a when he whips out a poison blade for the first time, you're just like, oh, okay, so he can
Oh
do shit
shit!
like this with it.
Yeah,
Man can
yeah,
make
exactly.
poison shadow clones. Like what?
It's crazy. And he's also got like the future sight, like not future sight
He
thing,
can,
but
yeah,
like
he's a
the
fortune teller.
fortune telling
His
thing.
eyes are on a different, like, can see the entire scale of light or whatever
Yeah,
of electromagnetism.
yeah, which lets him see if people are gonna die or not somehow. Don't question it.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but
Yeah,
is what it is. And then Sunny's hair is just so
Sonny's hair is just cool.
it's just cool. I mean, it's just he's just able to control his hair and do a bunch of shit like make nets out of it and he can feel you. That's it's kind of strange.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is a little strange, but he can carry heavy things. He has his net thing where he can like flip, like redirect blows and everything like that. It's all really cool. And then Zebra,
and then Zebra just sound is so sick.
just his voice and like the limits that it has too. Like he can't like. It's really cool how he has to like kind of almost limit himself on his voice. Like he has a limit.
Yeah.
You know, each one of these abilities comes with their own drawback. Like they can't just abuse these abilities and like are completely overpowered. They all
Yeah,
have their own limits that they
they
have
all
to worry about
the
mid fight.
limits and they all progress naturally and it's just like the show we haven't even talked about gourmet cells and the way the show sets up the fact that people peak, but there's ways to surpass that peak, um, through the evolution of your gourmet cells.
Yeah, through eating amazing food.
Yeah, the whole show revolves around eating, around food, and it makes you immensely hungry. If you
Mm,
do not eat
yeah,
the show on an empty, do not read the manga on an empty stomach because it is not a
do
good
not.
idea, man.
Nah, you're gonna be digging in your pantry, trying to create like you're gonna be digging through your pantry, pulling ingredients together, trying to
I
create
need to make
like
my full
some
course meal, man.
pull some cup ramen out, throw some like you're gonna pull like fucking green onions out of the fridge. You're like, yo, cup ramen, green.
I mean, the real ramen.
It's so funny. It's Toriko, man, and that's another thing I love about gourmet cells is like we started off like with it as just being about like good food,
Yeah,
but then he managed to work like good food into the power system too.
yeah,
Like eating good food makes you surpass your limits. It's like, bro, that's like such a good idea.
it's so cool, man. And I mean, yeah, the whole end game is achieving God, which
Mhm,
isn't a figure that isn't a being that is above all people. It's just the best food ever made, just the best food in
mhm.
existence. That happens to be on a bit of a lore character, sort of a 6SH pass kind of character.
Yeah.
In Acacia,
Mhm.
Acacia. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, both of them work. I think. I don't know. I
um,
still don't know how to pronounce that word.
Yeah, and just the search for his full course meal, which is absolutely snapped by the sounds of it. One of his foods can revive people from the dead. God can both stop and create wars.
Yeah.
uh,
Like yeah. No, God just being like the ultimate food and like literally just tasting it was like made like people who are warring.
she
It's like
solved world peace, man.
he created world peace. It's like man, if food like this exists in the world, why are we destroying it like this? Like people, they give
Yeah, like
that food gives post nut clarity like
yeah, the
24/7, bro.
post nut clarity. Yeah,
Yeah. So just yeah, and then yeah, it's just everything, everything about Toriko, man.
yeah. I
So
mean,
good.
we could go on forever
Yeah, we
But
could
I
literally go
but
on
I do think we
forever.
should wrap this up pretty soon. So
Yeah, no.
we
I
didn't
think
talk
we're
about
about
the plot too
time.
much, but I did want to keep a little spoiler light for y'all. Trying to change it up
Yeah.
instead of just recapping the plot. We're
Mhm.
trying to change
Mhm.
the format of these videos up a little bit. So we're just
Yeah, yeah. More want to get you like something you can watch before and like not understand. Like you won't understand everything fully.
yeah,
It's just kind of get you to hook it, like get you to get into the show,
yeah.
and then after you've read it, you can come back and watch this video and be like, oh yeah, that
Yeah,
shit
and
was
you can be
cool
like,
too.
"Oh,
You know,
I completely agree," or
I
"You guys
agree.
are fucking
Yeah, yeah,
dumb."
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
But yeah. So I want to end it off with like a little, a little something I thought of near the end of my reading, um, as I was reading, and I was nearing the Shaolin Temple arc, I guess, or the Bubble Fruit
Mm-hmm.
arc, if you will. Um,
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, yeah, okay, Toriko's great. Toriko's amazing. I love it, and it's got. But where's that shonen message? I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, does Toriko have a message? Sort of like
Mm.
how One Piece, to quote Blackbeard, dreams will never die.
Yeah.
Naruto, to quote Nagato, or no, is it Nagato? Do not let the cycle of hatred consume you. Right.
Yeah.
Sort of learn to forgive. So I was thinking about what that was for Toriko, but then when I read the Shaolin Temple arc, the Bubble Fruit arc, and it's just gratitude, man.
Gratitude.
You need to have gratitude in it. And I was like, okay, so that's the message, right? You need to
Mm-hmm.
give thanks to not just food, to not just the meal you eat, but everything, to life.
Yeah.
And that's what Toriko learns in that arc. He
Mm-hmm.
dies and learns his lesson about having to give thanks to everything, and that's how he learns food's end. But
Yeah.
and so I understood that, but it didn't really hit me
Mm-hmm.
until the last chapter, chapter 263, of the Human World arc, where Tori
Mm-hmm.
goes down in the dumps, because Komatsu got fucking got yeeted out of existence. Not
Yeah.
really, but he's not with Toriko anymore. And Toriko's just down bad about it because he's gay for that man.
Mm-hmm.
And just when Toriko was just walking through town and
Mm-hmm.
everybody came up to him, and just the amount of gratitude and appreciation that all these, just nobody, people we've never met before, just
Mm-hmm.
civilians come up to Toriko and they thank him for discovering food and giving them the ability to enjoy life again, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that shit hit me different. I almost cried.
Damn, I don't blame you.
That
I
final
don't blame
chapter
you.
almost made me cry because Toriko was so down bad, but but people came up to him being like, "Hey man, times may be tough, but it's thanks to you that we're living life good. We're eating out here."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I think that's the takeaway for Toriko, man. Just like appreciate what you got. Appreciate that you're able to eat these meals every day.
Mm-hmm.
And don't ever forget that you could be down. You could be down to horrendous.
Yeah, things
You
could be a lot worse.
king could be a lot worse for you. So give thanks, and so I'm gonna give thanks. Thanks for this, for being able to record YouTube right now.
Mm-hmm. It's Thanksgiving all over again.
It's thanks.
that, was, that,
It's
that was a month ago, man. Calm down.
I know. I mean, this would have been really good for Thanksgiving. Actually,
It would have been.
this would have been a perfect video for Thanksgiving.
Had we read it after Thanksgiving.
Oh man, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Um,
That's fair. Yeah,
uh,
pretty. Yeah, I didn't even think about that really. But now that I like, even Toriko's like introduction, he's like, "Thank you for this meal." Like when
yeah,
he's
yeah,
about
this
to
is
end
literally in
this.
the first chapter.
Yeah.
um, it takes him a while to learn what that actually means, but I think that's an important growth for him, and that is the growth of Toriko, for
Mhm.
this first arc, to really appreciate what he had, and he didn't really appreciate it until he lost until right at the end when he lost Komatsu. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's Toriko. Next time we'll be covering the Gourmet World arc. Um, Hopefully it lives up to the hype. I mean, I don't know what hype. I haven't heard anything
Like,
about it,
yeah,
so
there's
I still don't know
no
nothing about
external hype,
it.
but
But just like
in
the setup of
the
Toriko.
setup, yeah, the setup of
Yeah,
Toriko hype,
yeah.
like, oh man,
Like I'm hoping it's just like, ooh, and I'm like 200 chapters, man. I kind of wish it was more than that.
I know it's kind of sad that there's only 200 chapters. More, yeah, more. We're halfway through already, and it's like, man, I just want so much more.
I
I
want a
want, I
lot more.
want, I want like, I want like One Piece length of this, bro.
Yeah,
It's like,
for it's so
God.
good, and yeah, read Toriko. That's the point. Give it a shot, man. If you go in with no expectations like we did, you'll be extremely satisfied with the results.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, again, I had zero expectation of Toriko. I was like
I thought it
literally
was gonna be
nothing.
mid. I was ready for this video to just be a video about me saying how Toriko is mid, and
It was
that's why.
mid.
But it wasn't.
It was not.
It was incredible.
Yeah, what a pleasant surprise.
So if you like the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.
Yep.
Um,
Gonna say it again.
we gotta say it again because we have to. Because people won't do it for real. But we will see y'all in the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.